The silent threat: stroke in America. Bring a silent storm in every living room. Picture this. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sipping coffee like you have every morning for the past 40 years. The sun is rising. Birds are chirping. Life feels normal. But somewhere across America, another person has just collapsed. They can't speak clearly. Their face droops on one side. Someone yells for help. This isn't a movie scene. It's real life. Every year, over 795,000 Americans suffer from a stroke. Of those, nearly 610,000 are first-time strokes, and 3 out of 4 occur in people over 65. These numbers aren't abstract. They're about our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors, and maybe even us. And yet, most of these strokes are preventable. The tragedy isn't just the stroke itself, it's what follows. The silence where once there was laughter, the wheelchair where once there were walks in the park, the foggy memory where once there were vivid stories passed down through generations. But here's the truth many doctors don't tell you. Up to 80% of strokes can be prevented, not with surgery or expensive drugs, but with something we all have access to: food. Not miracle powders, not lab-made supplements. Just everyday, nourishing foods found in your local grocery store. Warning: why strokes are different after 60. As we age, our bodies change. Blood vessels stiffen. Clots form more easily. Our brains become more vulnerable. And when a stroke hits after 60, it doesn't just steal a moment, it can steal independence, dignity, and time. For older adults, stroke isn't just a medical event, it's a life-altering experience. It changes how they walk, talk, think, and feel. It changes how others see them. And often, it changes how they see themselves. That's why prevention isn't just a medical term. It's a mission. Lightbulb: hope lies in what you eat. You don't need to overhaul your entire life to protect yourself or your loved ones. Sometimes, the power lies in small, daily choices, like choosing dark chocolate over cookies, swapping fries for leafy greens, or adding beans to your soup instead of processed meats. These 6 foods: dark chocolate, legumes, avocados, fatty fish, berries, and leafy greens, are not just delicious. They're scientifically proven to support brain health, improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and lower stroke risk. In the pages ahead, we'll explore each of these foods in depth, why they work, how much to eat, and how to make them part of your daily life. Because stroke prevention shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel like empowerment. Food number 1: dark chocolate, a sweet shield for your brain. The surprising power of dark chocolate. Who would have thought that indulgence could be medicine? Dark chocolate, real dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa, isn't just a guilty pleasure. It's a powerhouse of flavonoids, antioxidants, magnesium, and other compounds that protect your blood vessels, enhance brain function, and yes, even reduce the risk of stroke. Let's rewind to a study conducted in Sweden. Researchers followed over 37,000 older adults for more than a decade. What did they find? Those who regularly consumed dark chocolate had a 17% lower risk of stroke compared to those who didn't. Why? Because dark chocolate contains flavonoids, plant-based compounds that help your body produce nitric oxide, a molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. This means better blood flow to your brain, lower blood pressure, and fewer blood clots. Real science behind the sweetness. A Harvard Medical School trial tested this theory on seniors with poor cerebral circulation. Participants drank cocoa-rich in flavonoids every day for 2 weeks. Within just 14 days, researchers observed noticeable improvements in blood flow and memory function. Even more impressive, dark chocolate also contains magnesium, which helps regulate blood pressure, and small amounts of theobromine and caffeine, which gently stimulate the brain without jitters or heart racing. How much is enough? Less than you might think. Just 1 or 2 small squares per day, about the size of a tea bag, is enough to reap the benefits. Think of it as a brain-boosting dessert, not a snack. Eat it after lunch or dinner. Pair it with a cup of herbal tea. Make it a ritual, a moment of calm and self-care. But beware, not all chocolate is created equal. Choose bars labeled 70% cocoa or higher, with minimal added sugar. Avoid sugary candy bars or milk chocolate dressed up as healthy. Also, if you're on blood pressure medication or antidepressants, check with your doctor before making dark chocolate a regular habit. It contains tyramine, which can interact with certain medications. Personal story: my grandmother's secret weapon. My grandmother lived to 92. She walked 3 miles a day, read poetry every evening, and always kept a bar of dark chocolate in her drawer. "It keeps my mind sharp," she'd say with a wink. Turns out, she wasn't wrong. She never had a stroke, never lost her voice, never forgot a name. Her secret? Small, consistent habits, and yes, a little piece of chocolate every day. Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Too much chocolate equals too many calories. Stick to 1 to 2 squares. Sugar-free chocolate is not equal to healthy chocolate. Some use sugar alcohols that cause bloating or diarrhea in older adults. Don't rely solely on chocolate. It's part of a bigger picture: balanced nutrition, movement, and stress management. Food number 2, beans and lentils, the heart-friendly protein that protects your brain. A quiet superhero in your pantry. Let's talk about something most of us have sitting in the back of our pantry, something humble, affordable, and easy to cook. But what if I told you that this everyday food could be one of the most powerful weapons in the fight against stroke? I'm talking about beans and lentils. Yes, those unassuming little legumes tucked away behind the cereal boxes might just be the unsung heroes of brain health, especially after 60. Because here's the truth: stroke isn't always dramatic or sudden. Sometimes it creeps in slowly, silently, through years of poor diet choices, high blood pressure, and unchecked inflammation. And that's where beans and lentils come in, not with a loud fanfare, but with quiet strength, like a warm blanket on a cold night. They don't shout about their benefits. They just deliver them, day after day. The science behind beans and brain health. In a world full of flashy superfoods, beans and lentils rarely get the spotlight. But science tells a different story. A 2020 review published in the journal Nutrients found that increasing your intake of folate-rich foods, like lentils, can lower levels of homocysteine in the blood by up to 25%. That might not sound like much until you understand what homocysteine does. Homocysteine is an amino acid that, when elevated, acts like rust inside your arteries. It damages blood vessels, increases the risk of clot formation, and raises your chances of having a stroke. Folate, also known as vitamin B9, is one of the best natural defenses against it. And guess who's loaded with folate? You guessed it, beans and lentils. 1 cup of cooked lentils gives you almost your entire daily need for folate, 90% to be exact. Compare that to red meat, which contains none. Real food, real protection. Beans and lentils are also rich in fiber, helps lower cholesterol. Plant-based protein, supports muscle without artery-clogging saturated fat. Potassium, regulates blood pressure naturally. Magnesium, keeps heart rhythm steady. Iron, prevents fatigue and weakness. All of these nutrients work together like a well-rehearsed orchestra, playing a symphony of protection for your heart and brain. Take potassium, for example. 1 cup of black beans delivers over 700 milligrams of potassium, more than a banana. And potassium is critical for keeping blood pressure under control. High blood pressure is the #1 cause of stroke in older adults. Now, imagine getting that kind of power from something you can buy for less than $1 a serving. That's not just smart eating. That's stroke prevention on a budget. What the research shows. A large study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed thousands of adults over several decades. The findings were clear. Those who replaced red meat with legumes at least 3 times per week had a 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, including stroke. Another study showed that seniors who regularly consumed beans and lentils had better cognitive function and improved memory recall, even if they had other risk factors like diabetes or hypertension. Why? Because beans aren't just filling, they're fueling your brain with the nutrients it needs to stay sharp and protected. How to make them part of your daily life. You don't need to become a gourmet chef to reap the rewards of beans and lentils. In fact, some of the simplest dishes are the most powerful. Here are a few ideas to get started. 1. Bean salad. Toss a scoop of black beans into your lunch salad. Add cherry tomatoes, cucumber, olive oil, and a splash of lemon juice. It's light, refreshing, and packed with brain-boosting fiber. 2. Lentil soup. Simmer lentils with carrots, celery, garlic, and turmeric for a hearty soup that warms the soul and protects the arteries. Turmeric adds anti-inflammatory power, bonus points. 3. Rice and beans. Make a simple brown rice and bean bowl with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of cumin. Add steamed greens on the side for extra protection. 4. Bean tacos. Use refried black beans, not the canned ones, with added lard, as a base for soft tacos. Top with avocado, salsa, and a squeeze of lime. Healthy and satisfying. Digestive concerns? Here's how to handle them. Many people avoid beans because of gas and bloating, but the good news is you can enjoy them without discomfort. Try these tips. Start slow. Begin with a half cup per day and gradually increase. Soak dry beans overnight. This reduces oligosaccharides, the sugars responsible for digestive upset. Rinse canned beans thoroughly. Draining and rinsing removes excess sodium and indigestible sugars. Add herbs. Ginger, cumin, and fennel seeds help ease digestion naturally. Remember, your body adjusts over time. With consistent use, many people find that their digestive system becomes more comfortable processing beans. Food number 3, avocados, the creamy fruit that protects your arteries. A smooth guardian of brain health. Let's talk about something creamy, rich, and deeply satisfying, yet surprisingly powerful when it comes to protecting your brain and heart. We're talking about avocados. Yes, the same fruit that makes your toast Instagram-worthy and turns guacamole into a party favorite is also one of nature's best-kept secrets for stroke prevention after 60. But don't let its smooth texture and buttery flavor fool you. Beneath that green skin lies a powerhouse of nutrients that work quietly but effectively to keep your arteries healthy, your blood pressure in check, and your brain well oxygenated. The science behind this green wonder. Avocados are not just another trendy food. They are rich in monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid, which has been shown in studies to reduce inflammation and support cardiovascular health. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that adults who ate 1 avocado per day had significantly lower levels of LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, and improved arterial function compared to those who didn't. Why does this matter? Because high cholesterol, especially LDL, builds up inside your arteries like plaque on the inside of a pipe. Over time, this restricts blood flow to the brain, increasing your risk of ischemic stroke, the most common type. But here's the good news. Avocados help clean out the pipes, so to speak. Their healthy fats actually reduce LDL while boosting HDL, the good cholesterol, a double win for brain protection. Real-life impact. How avocados protect your future. Imagine waking up every morning knowing your arteries are working with you, not against you. That's the kind of future avocados can help build. In a long-term Harvard study, women who regularly consumed monounsaturated fats from avocados instead of saturated fats like butter or processed oils had a 21% lower risk of stroke. That number might seem small, but in the world of preventive medicine, it's huge. What's even better? These benefits come without any side effects, no prescriptions, and no expensive supplements. Just a simple shift in what you eat. How to eat avocados for maximum brain protection. You don't need to eat a whole avocado every day to benefit. In fact, just a quarter to half of one is enough to give your body the nutrients it needs. Here are some delicious and easy ways to incorporate avocados into your daily routine. 1. Avocado toast. Spread mashed avocado on whole grain toast. Add a sprinkle of sea salt, black pepper, and a dash of lemon juice for extra flavor. You'll get fiber from the bread and heart-healthy fats from the avocado, double protection for your brain. 2. Salad boost. Toss slices of avocado into your salad. It adds creaminess and helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K from other vegetables. 3. Smoothie secret. Blend avocado into your morning smoothie with berries, Greek yogurt, and a splash of almond milk. It gives your drink a luxurious texture and slows down sugar absorption, perfect for maintaining stable energy levels throughout the day. 4. Egg and avocado bowl. Top a bowl of scrambled eggs with sliced avocado. Eggs provide choline, which supports brain cell structure, and avocado brings the healthy fats that protect blood vessels. 5. Guacamole and veggies. Make a quick guacamole with lime, garlic, cilantro, and a pinch of cumin. Pair it with baby carrots, cucumber slices, or bell peppers for a snack that's both satisfying and brain protective. Food number 4. Fatty fish, the brain's favorite protein. A deep dive into nature's brain food. There's something almost poetic about the idea that the brain, made up of nearly 60% fat, thrives on a food that comes from the sea. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, and trout aren't just delicious. They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, the kind of healthy fats that not only nourish your heart but also protect your brain from one of the most life-altering events after age 60, stroke. Imagine your brain as a bustling city, full of highways, blood vessels, power lines, nerves, and neighborhoods, brain cells. Now imagine what happens when one of those highways gets blocked. No oxygen, no nutrients, no signal. That's a stroke. But here's the good news. Eating fatty fish twice a week can help keep those roads open, clear, and flowing freely. The science behind omega-3s and stroke prevention. Let's start with a powerful fact. A 2021 review published in the journal Stroke analyzed data from over 800,000 people. It found that those who consumed fatty fish at least twice a week had a 13% lower risk of ischemic stroke, the most common type, caused by blood clots blocking blood flow to the brain. Why does this happen? Because omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, do more than just sound fancy. They do real work inside your body. Real results from real people. A Harvard-led study followed older adults for several years, tracking their diets and health outcomes. Those who regularly ate salmon or sardines twice a week showed improved cognitive function, better memory recall, lower rates of stroke and dementia. Even among participants with high blood pressure or diabetes, the protective effect remained strong. One participant, an 81-year-old retired teacher named Eleanor, shared her story. "I used to think I was doomed to have a stroke like my mother did. But since I started eating salmon every week, my doctor says my arteries look healthier than some people have my age." That's the kind of real-world impact we're talking about. Which fish should you eat? Not all fish are created equal. Here are the top 4 choices for stroke prevention. 1. Salmon, wild-caught preferred. Rich in DHA and EPA. Also contains vitamin D, which supports blood vessel health. Best prepared, baked with olive oil, lemon, and herbs. 2. Sardines. Small fish, low in mercury, packed with calcium and vitamin B12. Can be eaten straight from the can or added to salads. 3. Mackerel. High in omega-3s and protein. Great grilled or baked. Choose Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, not king mackerel, which is higher in mercury. 4. Trout. Mild flavor, easy to cook, often available fresh or frozen. Try it with dill, garlic, and a squeeze of lime. What to avoid? While fatty fish offer amazing benefits, there are a few things to watch out for. 1. Mercury levels. Some large predatory fish, like shark, swordfish, and king mackerel, contain high levels of mercury, which can damage the nervous system over time. Stick to smaller, oily fish like sardines and anchovies, or choose wild-caught salmon and trout. 2. Fried fish. Many fast food restaurants serve fried fish coated in batter and cooked in unhealthy oils. Studies show that fried fish increases stroke risk because of the trans fats involved. Always opt for baked, grilled, or steamed fish instead. 3. Canned tuna, mostly white albacore. While tuna is convenient, many brands use tuna with high mercury content. If you eat canned tuna, choose light tuna and limit intake to once or twice a month. Spoon how to add more fatty fish to your diet. You don't need to become a gourmet chef to enjoy the brain-boosting power of fatty fish. Here are some simple, everyday ways to get more of it into your meals. 1. Salad toppers. Flake a piece of baked salmon over your favorite salad. Add avocado slices and a light vinaigrette for extra brain protection. 2. Fish sandwiches. Make a quick sandwich with sardines mashed with Greek yogurt, mustard, and lemon juice. Serve on whole grain bread with lettuce and tomato. 3. Smoothie boosters. Yes, really. You can blend a small can of sardines, drained, into a vegetable smoothie with spinach, banana, and almond milk. The taste is mild, and your brain will thank you. 4. Pasta pairings. Toss warm trout or mackerel with whole wheat pasta, cherry tomatoes, garlic, and olive oil for a hearty, brain-healthy meal. 5. Breakfast options. Try smoked salmon on whole grain toast with a dollop of Greek yogurt and chives. It's satisfying, elegant, and packed with brain fuel. Speech balloon real-life story, my uncle's second chance. My Uncle Frank was always active, hiking, swimming, even doing yoga well into his 70s. But then he started feeling dizzy and forgetful. His doctor ran tests and discovered early signs of arterial stiffness. Instead of jumping straight to medication, his cardiologist suggested a dietary change. Eat fatty fish twice a week. He started with grilled salmon on Sundays and sardine sandwiches on Thursdays. Within 6 months, his cholesterol dropped, his blood pressure stabilized, and he felt sharper than he had in years. Now in his late 80s, he jokes that his secret isn't exercise, it's fish. DNA: Why fatty fish matters after 60. As we age, our bodies go through changes. Our arteries lose flexibility. Our brains become more sensitive to inflammation, and our risk of stroke rises. Fatty fish helps counteract these changes naturally. It's not a miracle cure, but it's close. It gives your brain the building blocks it needs to stay sharp, your heart the support it needs to pump steadily, and your blood vessels the flexibility they need to keep moving. And unlike expensive supplements or restrictive diets, fatty fish is accessible, affordable, and deeply satisfying. Orange Heart final thoughts, a love letter to your future self. So next time you walk into the grocery store or sit down at a restaurant, consider this. Choosing fatty fish isn't just about eating a meal. It's about investing in your future. It's about giving yourself more mornings with clarity, more conversations without confusion, more years spent doing the things you love. Because when you feed your brain the right kind of fat, you're not just protecting your body, you're protecting your identity. Food number 5, berries, the tiny fruit that guards your brain. Small size, giant protection. There's something magical about berries. They're small, delicate, and easy to overlook until you taste them. Then comes the explosion of flavor. Tart, sweet, juicy, alive. But beyond their taste lies a secret power, one that makes them one of the most brain-protective foods on the planet. Berries like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are loaded with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that give them their deep red, purple, and blue colors. These compounds don't just make berries look beautiful, they work quietly inside your body to reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and protect your brain from damage. And for seniors over 60, this protection could mean the difference between a sharp mind and sudden confusion, between independence and reliance, between waking up every morning and waking up in a hospital after a stroke. Because here's the truth. Berries aren't just fruit. They're armor for your arteries and shields for your brain. The science behind berries and stroke prevention. Let's start with a study that changed the way scientists think about food and brain health. In a long-term Harvard study published in the journal Stroke, researchers followed over 93,000 women aged 25 to 70 for 18 years. What they found was stunning. Women who ate berries at least 3 times per week had a 32% lower risk of stroke than those who rarely ate them. That's not a small number. That's a significant drop in risk, just from eating more berries. Why? Because anthocyanins, the same compounds that give berries their color, help relax blood vessels, prevent abnormal clotting, and improve circulation to the brain. Another study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed similar results in men. Regular berry consumption was linked to improved memory recall, faster cognitive reaction time, lower blood pressure, better overall brain function. And for older adults, these benefits matter more than ever. As we age, our blood vessels become stiffer, our brains receive less oxygen, and our risk of stroke increases. But berries offer a natural, gentle, and delicious way to counteract these changes. Real-life impact. Berries in action. Meet Eleanor, a retired schoolteacher from Oregon. At 74, she started noticing little things. Her memory wasn't as sharp, her balance felt off, and sometimes when she spoke, the right word wouldn't come easily. Her doctor warned her she was at risk for a stroke due to high blood pressure and elevated homocysteine levels. Instead of jumping straight to medication, he suggested a simple change. Eat more berries. Eleanor added a half cup of mixed berries to her breakfast every morning: blueberries, strawberries, even frozen raspberries when fresh ones weren't available. Within 6 months, her blood pressure dropped by 10 points. Her memory improved. She stopped forgetting names. And best of all, she never had a stroke. Now in her late 70s, she jokes that her real medicine isn't in a bottle, it's in her fridge. Strawberry, which berry should you eat? All berries offer brain benefits, but each has its own unique profile of antioxidants and nutrients. Here's a breakdown of the top 4 brain-boosting berries. 1. Blueberries, the memory master. Rich in anthocyanins and flavonoids. Shown in studies to improve memory recall and delay cognitive decline. Best eaten fresh or frozen. 2. Strawberries, the vitamin C powerhouse. High in vitamin C, which supports immune health and collagen production, important for strong blood vessels. Contains quercetin, an anti-inflammatory compound. Perfect sliced into oatmeal or Greek yogurt. 3. Blackberries, the fiber champion. 1 cup contains 8 grams of fiber, helping regulate digestion and blood sugar. Also rich in vitamin K, which supports healthy clotting. Great in smoothies or paired with nuts for a snack. 4. Raspberries, the anti-aging ally. Packed with ellagic acid, which fights oxidative stress. Supports heart health and may reduce cancer risk. delicious with cottage cheese or in homemade granola. How to add more berries to your daily routine. The beauty of berries is that they're incredibly versatile and require almost no cooking.